The Kremlin-controlled energy firm Gazprom said it would cut existing flows of the Nord Stream 1 pipeline in half to just 20% of capacity from Wednesday, having already lowered them to 40% last month. European politicians have decried Russia's weaponization of gas supplies. The Gazprom move came as German business confidence fell to its lowest level for more than 2 years, in the latest sign that Europe's largest economy is teetering on the brink of recession. Companies across Germany became more gloomy about their current predicament and the outlook for the next 6 months, according to the IFO Institute's closely watched index of business confidence. Gazprom has blamed the availability of turbines for its cuts to supply, but a spokesman for Germany's economy ministry said there was no technical reason for the reduction. European gas prices have surged 30% in 2 days after Russia deepened supply cuts to the continent in Moscow's latest attempt to weaponize energy supplies. Futures contracts for delivery next month tied to TTF, the European benchmark wholesale gas price, jumped 20% on Tuesday to breach €210 per megawatt hour, the highest level since early March, the day after Russia warned of lighter flows on the largest pipeline supplying the region. Prices are more than 10 times higher than the average between 2010 and 2020. The rise in gas prices came as EU ministers struck a watered-down deal on Tuesday to reduce gas consumption by 15% over winter, with exemptions for certain member states less dependent on Russian gas. The higher gas prices indicate the mounting pressure on Europe to seek alternative supplies to keep homes warm and industry operating through the coming winter. And to discuss this further, I'm joined live from Brussels by Madalina Vicari, who's an expert from the Eurasian Energy Chamber. Madalina, thank you so much for joining us here today on Anews.
Thank you for having me.
The news coming from Europe of a burgeoning energy crisis is very worrying for many millions of people. In layman's terms, how would you describe the current situation?
I would describe it as a new phase of the geoeconomic war of attrition that is currently between European Union and Russia, or Russia and the European Union, because both sides are actively involved in this geoeconomic war. First of all, the European Union has put a series of very severe sanctions against Russia, and Russia is replying by using the war of gas or by blackmailing, as the EU has said recently. Actually, the European Union and Russia are in a war of attrition. And the question is who will blink first? Because after 5 days of interrupted flows via Nord Stream 1, Russia has cut by 20% the flows, and currently via Nord Stream 1, there are only 20% of gas supplies. And it should be taken into account that 1/3 of all the gas exports to Europe, all the Russian gas exports to Europe, are via Nord Stream 1. So as you said, the price jumped, the spot price jumped, and is currently at 200 euros per megawatt hour. And frankly speaking, we are also going through uncharted territory, because we don't know whether the supplies will stay at 20%, the supplies by Nord Stream 1, whether the supplies will be further reduced, or whether the supplies will get back to 40% or so.
I'm a little bit confused because we were hearing from Russia that this shutdown or this restriction is for technical reasons, and it's understandable that there should be some technical requirements along the way. But on the other hand, we're hearing from the EU Energy Commissioner, from Kadri Simpson, saying that this is a political move. So what is it? Is there any technical reasoning for this? You say it's uncharted territory as well. So is it a bit of both?
I would say, firstly, I would give you an element of the big picture. while ago, not very long ago, at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, Vladimir Putin said that there might be other problems with the other turbines of the Nord Stream 1. So in this case, my opinion, one could infer that there might be problems, real or not real problems, or demanded problems with the other turbines. Anyway, it's clear that it was a quarrel over the paperwork of the Nord Stream 1 turbine. And the quarrel was accentuated and was inflated in order to serve the interests of Russia. And it was used as a leverage in this geoeconomic war. Or a leverage to inflate or to make the energy weapon more effective. So, in a nutshell, this could be the answer. The problem with the turbine, with the Nord Stream 1 turbine, was accentuated, was inflated to be used as a leverage of the energy weapon in the geoeconomic war between Russia and the Europe.
Of course, people in the West, in fact, across the whole world, are concerned about the food supplies at the moment. The energy supplies, we think of gas as the gas that comes out of our combi boiler at home, out of the hob on our cooker to cook with. But of course, in terms of industry, gas is very important, and the economic effects of that gas being restricted are something which are making people incredibly nervous. So is the greatest hit likely to be to industry, or how will it affect the domestic usage of gas in the coming in winter if the supply isn't increased?
The European Union approved yesterday a plan of 50% gas reduction at the level of the European Union, but it will be done by member, state by state. It will depend on each member to reduce its consumption. But it should be said that there are already a lot of cards out, a lot of exemptions. For instance, Spain, Portugal will reduce less than 50%, will reduce only 7%. Cyprus, Malta, Ireland will be exempted, or more or less. Also, Lithuania, Estonia could be exempted. So a lot of cards out. Also, at the level of the European Union, the EU, the Commission can trigger a state of alert and could impose mandatory gas reduction, which will be very difficult to be implemented. But what it will happen? Well, it much depends on how cold the winter will be. It is clear that we will already have some gas reductions in upcoming future, especially in the countries that are very energy intensive, like Germany. Also, the Minister of Economy, the German Minister of Economy, Mr. Robert Habeck, stated very clear that it will be a source of reduction, and the first step will cut their gas consumption will be industry before households and before critical infrastructure like hospitals. So energy intensive industry will be affected. Now, if we will have a very cold winter with gas storages not filled at 80% by autumn, by November, 1st of November, then it will be necessary to entail more severe gas reduction, more severe gas curtailment at the level of the European Union. These two factors will be fundamental, will be critical. How much the gas storages will be filled by 1st November, and how cold the winter will be. Function of that, we could see very severe, or more severe, let's say, to not be very, to not send a very panicking message, more severe gas curtailment, and at the end of March 2023, March next year, the European Union will have its gas storages injecting its gas storages more or less than 10 BCM, which will also entail problems of functioning of the gas network. A lot of variables, again, uncharted territories, but not very optimistic scenario or scenarios in the end.
Absolutely, and very complicated, as you explained. So many different things that could alter the outcomes. Of course, there is one solution, and that's for Russia to end the war and to return to a situation of peace, so that everybody can get on normally. Madalina Vicari, I want to thank you so much for your expertise in joining us today on Anews. Pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.